Yeah, actually pause that.
I'm Jade's mama. Where'd you get the crate and the Z from?
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited because I have my mom here with me. Say hello to the people.
Hello everyone.
I'm so excited to have her here today because we're actually doing this video together to talk about a more serious topic and something that touches a lot of us in either directly in our own lives or by our friends or family, and that's breast cancer. So this video is actually in partnership with Ad Council. I wanted to jump on this campaign with them because Know Your Girls is all about spreading the word and getting awareness out there about the concerns that Black women have that is more intense than other women. Black women actually have a 40% greater chance of dying from breast cancer. And it's something that has actually affected my own mom. And so in today's video, I'm gonna allow her to kind of share her story a bit, but also give some other insights on just how to get that element of fear out of the way that we see our own health and the way that we take care of our girls, and how we can move forward with more of an empowered feeling towards our own health. Were there other women in your life, aunts, people in our family? I mean, there's people in our family that's had cancer, right? But not necessarily breast cancer.
And actually, my father actually died of lung cancer, so that's a direct, and I have several other brothers that have cancer as well. We didn't really have any breast cancer in the family. I did have my aunt, but it was just based on natural life cycle, so they didn't really consider that as a connection. I was diagnosed at the age of 40, so that was relatively young to be diagnosed. So when I was diagnosed, because my tumor was so large, I had to do chemotherapy up front every week, and so I did 2 different regimens of chemotherapy. And I was also HER2 positive, which was basically just an aggressive form, another aggressive form. So I had to take that medication for 52 weeks. So even though I got done, I did my surgery, I did chemo, I was done in April. And I had but I still had to go through May of the following year with the Herceptin.
Right. And obviously, like many Black women, you didn't just get to go through one treatment. You had to go through multiple different types of treatment to fight the aggressive cancer that you had. And I also want to shed light on the fact that you did get checked 2 years prior.
Exactly.
And it was misdiagnosed.
Exactly.
I think that's also something that is kind of scary as well, to think that you are trying to be proactive, you are trying to go to the doctor and make sure everything is good, and then someone tells you you're fine, but then 2 years later, like your case, you're not. So how was that, realization, and what was your experience initially going in, and what did they tell you?
Initially, at the age of 40, I went and had my first mammogram, and they looked at it and they said, we think we see something, but let's do the second opinion. So I actually went for a second mammogram, and they looked at it and they said, okay, this is your first one. We believe you have dense breasts. This is the natural formation of your breasts. So with that being said, I was like, okay, you're the doctor. I went around my merry way. Now, 2 years later, I am retired from the Air Force. So 2 years later, I was retiring from the Air Force, and I had to go through a physical. And that's when they was like, well, when's your last mammogram? And I said, oh, it was 2 years ago. Oh, you're good. And again, I'm trying to out-process the military, so I don't know. There's so much going on. So right. He said, okay. I said, okay, when I'm on my merry way. 10 months after I retired, lo and behold, I go look in the mirror and my whole breast has changed formation.
Wow.
So it's like.
So did it feel like it was like a drastic transformation? Like you didn't notice it, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, whoa.
Well, and I going through life cycle, I wasn't really sure maybe if I noticed and didn't pay attention, but just so happens that morning I got out of the shower. Yeah. And I looked down and it was like the whole top half of my breast was doing one thing and the bottom half was doing something else. I was like, oh, that's probably not good. I probably need to go to the doctors.
Oh, it's not funny, it's like in those moments, it's so jarring because you thought that you did everything that you had to do. Exactly. And maybe it's one of those things where that's why we have to be more aware, and we have to be more like proactive. Exactly. I think for me being 27, I just don't believe it's ever going to happen to me. You know, like
course,
we all
of
live in like
course,
that
of
mindset
course,
of like,
of
oh,
course.
it'll never be me.
Exactly.
But it definitely could be, because not even on your side of the family, but on my dad's side of the family. Like my grandmother had breast cancer, and another person on my dad's side had breast cancer. So it's like, for me, it's like I've got it coming from both sides.
Right.
So as living through your experience, you now being how many years post? 5 or 6?
6 years.
6 years post,
6
and
years.
you're in like that survivor kind of time period now, because you're past, the
Correct.
5 years. So
Correct.
like you're a success story and you lived through it, but there's so many women that don't. And it's important for us, even at me 27, you being my mom, to still talk about, how to take care of ourselves and not necessarily be afraid of our own bodies. Because I think that's also true too, is that we're almost afraid to touch ourselves and move things around and make sure things feel good and that things are being normal. And if something does look different, actually saying, you know what, I'm not going to wait until it gets to the extreme and I really don't know what to do, but let me make sure that I'm going to go get checked out, or at least talk to somebody about it. So that's why early detection is so important, because so many Black women aren't in that pool of early detection. Most of them get diagnosed later, and so the treatment is more aggressive. The cancer itself is more aggressive. So I think it's important for us to talk about mammograms, talk about checking ourselves out and not being afraid of our own bodies. And I think one of the ways that we could do that was essentially be just having that group text, putting it in each month saying, hey, this is the day that we're checking ourselves. This is the day that we're making sure our girls are good. And so that you can do that in your friend groups, in your, aunties, cousins, sisters, making sure that everyone is well aware, so that it doesn't have to be this taboo thing that we don't want to talk about until it's almost too late, until it's literally life or death. Right. And so even thinking about now, recently they're doing research where you don't even have to go through chemo if you have cancer. They have new treatments or some new data that's coming out that if you can catch it early enough, you don't even have to do all of that stuff. But unfortunately, for many Black women, that's not even going to pertain to them, because they're getting diagnosed later. If you want to find out about more resources and information, definitely go to knowyourgirls.org. They've got tons of really helpful information on that website. Also, my mom actually has a nonprofit organization called Circle of Cancer Care. It actually supports any woman that's dealing with cancer. They have an array of services that they provide, such as taking women to their chemo treatments, to support group meetings, to limited financial support, things like that. Just different ways to support women who are dealing with any type of cancer. So I'll definitely leave her link down below so you can see more information about her organization if you are in the San Antonio, Texas area. But also, if you are anywhere around the world, she is definitely available to hop on a call, send an email, just chat about your experience, or maybe someone that you love is going through cancer. The organization helps with that kind of support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and until my next one, I will see you next time. Bye.